Melinda was given a restriction court order to stay away from her husband and his new wife, but she violated the order. The judge, however, showed her mercy. Instead of jail time, she was ordered into mandatory therapy sessions. At first, Melinda refused to open up. Her anger clouded everything. She told the therapist that Robert, her ex-husband, owed her everything he had. She said she had been strong for him when he was weak, and weak when he needed her strength. She had given him everything, yet in the end he betrayed her. And for that, she had every right to be angry. Slowly, Melinda began to explain, starting from the very beginning. She was in college, rushing to her hostel when she first crossed paths with Robert. Their first encounter was tense. Later that day, Robert returned her misplaced notes. At first, Melinda dismissed him, but Robert had gone through her papers and corrected her mistakes. He even explained how their lecturer preferred things to be structured. It was then Melinda realized how smart he was. Her anger faded, and suddenly this tall, handsome man looked different in her eyes. The two began studying together. Soon after, Robert revealed his grand idea, a self-recharging battery. If successful, it could power cars, homes, everything. He told her it would make them unimaginably rich. Melinda never suspected that behind his dreams lay the seeds of a toxic future. Tragedy struck when Melinda's sister came with devastating news. Their mother had died. Heartbroken and desperate for comfort, Melinda leaned on Robert. He was there, mourning with her, though her sister didn't like him one bit. To them, Robert was just a broke dreamer. Then Devin entered the picture. Brenda, Melinda's sister, introduced him as Melinda's boyfriend, though in reality he was her ex. The humiliation cut Robert deeply. He left early, but Melinda followed him. That's when she learned the truth. Robert lived in a van. Inside, he opened up about his past. His father was in prison. His mother had abandoned him. Raised by his grandmother, he was left with nothing when she died when he was just 14. Since then, he had been living in that van. His story broke Melinda's heart. Still reeling from her mother's death, she saw herself in his pain. He made her feel strong, even beautiful, at a time when she was vulnerable. Her grief blinded her. Not long after, she was already sleeping with Robert. Later, she would confess she felt he had taken advantage of her fragile state. Her sister warned her Robert was only taking from her, but Melinda wouldn't listen. When her mother passed, she left Melinda a house and $350,000. She made the mistake of telling Robert. Soon after, he pointed to a penthouse in the city, promising her one day he would buy it, and even a cruise ship too. She believed him. Robert had a gift. He could make Melinda think everything was for her. She bought him a car, but soon after she was the one chasing him. He didn't even call for 2 days. Then came the breaking point. After her sister got married and moved out, Melinda visited Robert unexpectedly. She parked across the street, watching from her car. What she saw broke her heart. Robert was cheating. Rage consumed her. She floored her car and rammed it into his van, again and again. Robert rushed out, begging her to stop, but in the chaos, Melinda slammed against the steering wheel and blacked out. The crash left her with internal bleeding. Worse, she lost her womb, and she was not even 21. As she recovered, her sister urged her to leave him. But Melinda needed answers. Robert apologized, swearing it would never happen again. Despite everything, she still loved him. When he proposed, she said yes. She even paid his tuition. Her sisters were furious. Robert had betrayed her, but Melinda refused to see the truth. They boycotted her wedding. Years rolled by. They stayed in her mother's house, with Robert forever needing just a little more money for his battery supplies. Bills piled high. Melinda worked 2 jobs. Robert kept chasing Prescott and Howard Company, begging them to listen to his pitch. But every letter was ignored. Melinda slaved away, working early mornings, late nights, just to keep the house. Robert, he slept in. She was exhausted. Still, she held on. Then one day, Robert showed her his invention. Their entire house ran on his battery. For a moment, hope sparked, but then the battery exploded. Repairs cost more than they could afford. Finally, graduation came. Robert had an interview that promised a salary of at least $150,000 a year. But one by one, every company turned him down. His past haunted him. Arrested at 15, charged as an adult. No company wanted to hire a convict. Still, Robert begged Melinda not to give up. He swore Prescott would one day see his battery. She mortgaged the house to keep them afloat, but the weight of life grew heavier. 18 years of marriage, no child, and no joy. Then fate twisted again. At Prescott, Robert met Diana, the same woman he had cheated with years ago. Now she was the managing director. Robert begged for help getting to Mr. Prescott, but she only gave him her card. "Strictly business," she said. Not long after, Prescott's lawyers called. Robert was banned. If he wrote or stepped near their buildings again, he would be arrested. 18 years of chasing a dream, gone in a moment. Melinda told him to wake up, get a job, and face reality. The battery